What is up, YouTube? This is DBZ439 coming at you with a very interesting deck profile. It is actually a modification from my original Dinomist build. Instead, we incorporated two different engines, one being the Endymion and the next being the Guardragon. So this deck profile will be known as the Endymion Guardragon Dinomist deck profile. In my regionals, we had a side event for Win a Mat, and I won this mat right here. With this deck profile, 2-0'd every single person with ease. This deck is amazing, guaranteed 4 to 5 negates every time without any interruptions, and even with interruptions, you're still able to spit out a lot of negates. So without any further ado, let's get on with the deck profile. Starting off with the main deck, we got Double Master. Some people play 1, some people play 3. I actually play 2. Reason being is because I like him sometimes on the scale, and also I like his monster effect negation. Or his spell trap negation, which comes up a lot. So yeah, next we play Triple Servant. It's actually one of my favorite low scales because you're able to pendulum summon everything, and then her scale effect obviously to summon herself and either Master or Jackal King. Sometimes I go with the Jackal King just because it's good with negating hand traps. So yeah, next we run Triple Magical Abductor. Broken card. If I don't have Servant, I usually want Magical Abductor in the scale so that I can usually search any pendulum monster. Next for the Dinomists, we only play 2 Terran. He doesn't really do anything going turn 1 because he just destroys a monster by battle and then searches stuff, which came up in the side event and won me a duel actually. But other than that, like he's just there for level 4 normal summon. And then we play Triple Plesios. So yeah, for every Dinomist card you control, your opponent loses 100 attack and defense. And for the scale 6 effects, if they were to target another Dinomist card, you can destroy this card instead. And for the scale 3s, if a Dinomist card were to be destroyed by a battle card effect, you can destroy the scale 3 instead. So yeah, these are like your normal summons, and that's all you need to run for the normal summons. And next we play Double Brachion. I used to play triple, but I only play double because when you go in first, you don't really want to see him in your hand. But going second, he's really nice because he's basically a free special summon. And then next we play the Triple Ceratops. And these are the last of the Dynamists you play. If you control all Dynamist monsters, and you don't control him, you can special summon for free. So him and like any normal summon Dynamist card will get you Electromite. So that's it for the Dynamist cards. We only run 10. I used to run like so much more Dynamis, but we cut a lot of stuff. We just put a lot of turbo engine so that we could spit out like so many negates. Next, for other smaller engines, we run the Double Cerberus to get to Jackal King, and Jackal King is supposed to summon him for another Electromite target. Also, I'll show you something else in the deck profile once we get there. Next, we only play Double Jackal. I don't play triple of these because I don't want to brick with him, and you actually kind of only need one because like you can use Servant to special summon him, and then you're good to go. You'll have counters, and it can help prevent hand traps, so it's pretty nice. Next we run Triple Chronograph to help get to your Time Gazer, and also I like his high scale so that I'm able to pendulum summon everything, and then also his hand effect is really underrated. You know, if something were to get destroyed, you can special summon himself, and maybe like even a Cerberus from your hand, go to Electromite again, or go for OTKs, whatever. Pretty strong card. And then obviously the one Time Gazer to special summon off of his scale effect. Next we run only Double Darkworm, not triple. You only need to see one, and he's critical for your Guardragon plays. And then obviously the one Gate 0 to search off. And for the last of the monsters, we run the one Destrudo to get to your level 7 Synchro monsters. That is it for the monsters. We run a grand total of 30 monsters. And next for the spells, we only run 10. That is, first off, we run Triple Dynamist Charge. Absolutely phenomenal. On activation, you search any Dynamist card, and then it helps gain spell counters for your Magical Abductor and Servant and whatnot. And when a Dynamist card were hit to extra deck, it gets added to your hand instead. So you're able to pendulum summon a lot of monsters, and just has a lot of toolbox and versatility with the deck. Next, probably my favorite spell card in the deck, Spell Power Mastery. Search an Endymion card, and then basically give 2 counters, or however many copies are in the graveyard, to your scale, so you're able to resolve their scale effects. Next, we run the Spice Spellbook of Knowledge. I ran Desires before, but you're running so much one-ofs, and this card can help give you spell counters and discard bricks like Cerberus and whatnot, and draw 2 cards, give spell counters, and yeah, I think this card was better than Desires. I was also considering Allures, but I only had 11 targets for Allures, but for this card I had 16, so yeah. And finally for the spells, we run 1 Shrine and 1 Foolish. And that is it for the main deck. It's a grand total of 40 cards. And now on to the side deck. Real quickly, we're going to play double Pankratops. I played Sphere Mode, but I realized your normal summon was critical, and that this card can pop back row. And now you're able to pendulum summon it because you play a lot of 8 scales, so that's pretty nice. Next for the hand traps, we're on double Ghost Ogre. The board removal is really critical in this format. And I play double Ash, probably one of the best hand traps right now. Every deck searches, and having Ash to stop the search could potentially end their turn. Next, I run triple Call by the Grave. This I'm still conflicted about because I wanted to main this deck this card, but whenever you go die roll and you lose a die roll, this card is essentially not that good. Go in second, and usually like when you go first for sure, you want to side in 3 copies because everyone's going to be siding in hand traps against you, so this will ensure your combos. Next we play triple red reboot for those heavy back row decks. You're going to OTK almost every time, and this ensures the OTK. Before I didn't play red reboot because my Dinomist wasn't strong enough to like OTK, but with this build, since you turbo out so much stuff, you're able to OTK with ease. And finally we play triple evenly matched just to get rid of all those back rows and stuff like that. And yeah. Anyways, that is it for the side deck, and now for the extra deck. We played the 1 Field Center Red Eyes Black Dragon, of course. Then, obviously, we run the 1 Electromite, 1 Borload, Boral Sword. These cards are extremely easy to summon now, especially with Agripane. And the fact that you pendulum summon so many monsters, they're so easy to go into. Next, we played the 1 LP, the 1 Agripane, and the 1 Triple Burst. LP... you special summon off of Dark Worm, and then you go ahead and use Electromite and any other monster to summon Triple Burst, and then you use LP effect to summon Destrudo, and then you go Agripane by using Destrudo and Triple Burst, and then you can use Agripane's effect to summon things like Arcane Abyss and other dragon monsters from your extra deck, and then you use these 2 to make Heretic Seal, which is a bounce and can potentially summon a dragon monster from your deck. Usually Destrudo. I used to run Aether, but Aether was a brick. And so, but you're already going to have like 4 or 5 negates anyways, so it doesn't matter having the 6th negate. At that point, you already won the duel. And then lastly, we play Cleave Genius, especially for going second. The Dinomist engine helps you go second in terms of like, if someone were to play Anti-Spell Frigate or a problematic Floodgate, you can always summon Cleave Genius and use its effect to negate the card, and it's unaffected by spells or traps. So some people will preemptively play Widow Anchor on it, and it'll be like, alright, it doesn't do anything. So yeah, anyways, moving on to the Synchro monsters, we run 1 Dawn Dragster, Cyber's Quantum Dragon, and Arcane Abyss. Dawn Dragster to negate spells and traps. This card literally won me against Subterrors. It's so good, the bouncing effect. It's more of the offensive card, and this is like the defensive card. So you have options with the Destrudo, and Arcane Abyss is probably the best monster to summon off of Agripane. So yeah, and then next we run Cyber Dragon Infinity Package. In my opinion, it's probably one of the best negate cards in the game. The fact that you can not take control, but you target a face-up attack position monster your opponent controls and use it as material is a very, very strong effect. And lastly, for the level 4s, or rank 4s, we play Abyss Dweller and Tornado Dragon. Probably the best rank 4, or XYZ level 4 monsters right now. This can shut down graveyards, and this can destroy problematic back row. So yeah, YouTube. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, please post them down below. We always read and try to respond to every single comment. Any video tips, any of that stuff. I will be posting a combo tutorial video for this deck soon, so stay tuned for that. And once again, have a nice day.